So in this week's episode, we decided to try something a little bit different and, get out and explore the world a little bit. And what better place to explore than an abandoned mall? So we check out the Valley View Mall, or the Valley View Center in Dallas, Texas, and kind of just go through the history of the mall and of mall culture in general. And, it's fascinating to see all these buildings. There are so many more I want to go explore now. All these buildings and the way that they're left, you're in some kind of like apocalypse zombie movie. It's great. If you want to go ahead and just skip ahead to the mall itself, I'll put a little time code here, and that's where the actual abandoned mall will start. But if y'all love comedy, and I know you do, you gotta stick around for the entire video and watch our road trip down there. My buddy Greyson and I decided to road trip out together, and of course, banter ensues when you got two non-comedians in a car with not coffee. So, get ready, settle in, it's go small time. Alright, so we are on our way to Dallas, Texas to check out the Valley View Mall.
You said let's get in the car and go to Dallas. I'm just here, okay? I don't know what this mall is called.
Ghost Mall! Alright, so y'all may know, if you've been watching the channel, you know that I wrestle, and we did some wrestling, and the theme was Ghost Mall. Well, somebody had posted in the forum on our page that there was a mall in Dallas that had been completely abandoned, and so Greyson and I thought, let's take a trip and go check it out.
Yeah, see what happens. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I don't know where we're at right now. Where are we at? We just passed Georgetown, Texas.
If you guys haven't known, if you haven't lived in Texas ever, it takes 3 hours to get from Austin to Dallas. So, that's two major cities.
3 hours if you're lucky. There's no traffic. If there's no traffic, it takes 3 hours. I-35 is kind of a parking lot. So here's a fun thing. I didn't know that. This is my first experience with an iPhone, a very old iPhone, but it's it's whatever. And when you're driving and the GPS detects this, it doesn't want to unlock. It's like, we'll unlock when you're not driving. And I was like, well, I'm not driving now. So I guess it's probably a cool feature.
I mean, no, it's just gonna make them be frustrated and try to unlock the phone, then they get to a car wreck because they couldn't unlock their phone.
Yes. There's gotta be some stuff to get into a wreck and probably get ticketed for being on your phone, but you couldn't actually access the phone. You were just staring at it and it was off. Like, just laughing at you in the back. This picture of Steve Jobs is like,
Nice Jurassic Park reference.
All these people looking at us.
Hello, how's it going?
Go small! Alright, so we are outside of Waco, Texas, and we just passed a billboard that was advertising a cheese cave. Which I don't know how I feel about that. Does cheese come from caves?
Want extra moldy? Is that where blue cheese comes from? Cave moldy? Like,
maybe. I don't know if I trust people in there just mining cheese. I don't know. Just like scrape the walls and be like, oh, that's definitely a chopped cheddar.
Okay, that's kind of gross, man.
What? It's a cheese cave, man.
I mean, I guess, has anyone been to a cheese cave before?
Has anyone out there going to a cheese cave? I'm curious.
Should we stop?
We can't stop. Here's cheese country.
We go to West Fest.
West Fest. Oh, well.
No. I said West, not Vest.
Oh, Fest. West Fest.
I said West Fest, not Vest.
What is Fest, though? What are they festivizing?
Not Vests.
I mean, they're lost, all right? Because it's fancy as a mud.
$6. I've seen the video.
Hey. Road to Dallas, part 2, 3, 7. What's happening? I don't know.
I treat like Big Red. But kind of the opposite.
Ricky Bobby.
I need to stop quoting your videos.
Quote them more! I was telling Todd the other day, I'm like, out of all of this, what's gonna happen is we're gonna have a shirt that either says delicious or wash your hands, wash your vegetables, because thanks, Murdoch. We'll be right back. So we're making a quick stop off here in Salado,
Texas.
Salado, Texas for some jerky. I mean, I don't really eat jerky. He eats jerky. Says it's the best place, so if y'all out on the road, stop by, check it out. All right, back to the road.
Let's go.
All right, so we made it. We are in Dallas. We are at the Valley View Mall.
Turning on it right now, actually.
Let's take a look at it real quick, because it's not quite what I expected.
This this the right place, man?
I mean, Google says this. We are here.
I see the theater it was attached to.
So we're gonna take a closer look and see. Go small! Go small! So we made it, and we're going to, it looks like the mall's open. Alright, let's see.
I don't know, man. I think we're supposed to use the other door, but okay. Yeah, don't touch that. Probably not live, but you never know.
We ain't trying to join the ghost.
What you got, man?
I can't even tell what the store used to be. They still got some light bulbs in it, and apparently it does still have electricity. Oh, look at this site.
Dang.
The mall was originally developed back in 1973, and in August of that year, as part of the mall's grand opening celebration, there was a shoe store that offered a free 8-ounce steak with any purchase of $5 or more, which apparently this was a big deal in like the 70s, and it drew in a bunch of people, a lot of media attention.
I mean, just...
I guess, as you can say, this is mall that remains.
Boo!
What? Don't boom me on the video. It's crazy to think that, I mean, shopping malls like this were, you know, a mecca for just socializing. It was retail, it was like teens hanging out. It was just a place to go to meet people, talk to people, get food, get your clothing items, whatever. And it's like, I feel like malls have this kind of, this nostalgia. Like, this is what people were connected to as kids. And it's interesting to see what Valley View's become. In 1982, the LaSalle Street Fund purchased the mall and started to expand it even further, adding in another anchor store. And September 1st, 1985, actually marked the first legal Sunday shopping day in the state of Texas. They must have known we were coming. What's the light on for us? And so Valley View, like the other malls in the area, celebrated the end of the state's 24-year-old Blue Laws with a ton of shows and special promotions to get people to come out and shop. And if you're not familiar with Blue Laws, those were also known as Sunday Laws, which were designed to restrict or even ban some or all of Sunday activities for religious or secular reasons. Most of the Blue Laws in the US have been repealed with the exception of alcohol on Sundays. That's still one that's enforced in a lot of places here. The US isn't the only place that had blue laws though. You can find them in places like Canada, Austria, Germany, Switzerland, Norway. A lot of these places still have stores closed on Sundays. Shopping is still banned on Sundays. So the mall saw another change in ownership in 1996 when a California-based shopping center purchased the mall for $85 million. And then the last changeover happened in 2012 when Beck Ventures took over management in-house. So with the exceptions made at the time for the AMC in the Valley View Mall, Sears, and a couple of radio stations, the original mall site was set up to be demolished, beginning in December 2016. And of course the plan was to take the original site and the surrounding properties and turn them all into something called the Dallas Midtown. But even this had a lot of setbacks, and back in June of 2018, a lot of the redevelopment plans hadn't even started.
You wanna get in?
So this is kind of cool here. You can see the engravings they had on the pillars are still here.
So if we run into another crew trying to film stuff here, do we fight them or how does that work?
Power of collaboration. Power of collaboration. I'm like, what's he switch business cards and things? Currently, the only tenant now left in Valley View is the movie theater. I feel like we're going all the way. Good man. This straight shot down the hallway. So as we walked through the mall, we were wondering, what is it that made these so popular back in the day? Why was everyone so obsessed with shopping malls, and why are people so obsessed with now the dead mall culture as well? All right, so let's check the directory real quick. So we are here in Oblivion, right? Apparently. All right, let's explore. So this is creepy. So guest services still seems to be operational. There's no one here, but there are cameras still running everything here. No people, but electricity and cameras. From the outside, the malls never really looked like anything special, but from the inside, they were specifically designed to entertain people and to pull them in to spend money. So they do have one working escalator as well. I'm guessing this is mostly because the movie theater, the AMC that's still here, is the only tenant left in the building. You can see all of the kind of dead escalators back here, all blocked off and no longer run. Shopping malls in the 80s were sort of these fantasy cities in which people didn't live, but everyone could exist there. Everyone was buying. There were so many stores and so many means of entertainment that people were always drawn there and would spend hours of their day there. They would plan weekends there. It was a hangout spot for teenagers. It was where people would take their kids to just kind of roam around and take in the sights. Now we got proof of the stores that used to actually be in the mall, that everything's moved out and this seems to be all that's left of it. But this was the old directory map, shows you everything that was here. The only thing that remains, level 3 movie theater. Malls kind of gave people a sense of identity. They advertised what people were wearing on TV and said, come here, you can buy this, you can wear the same thing. And that sort of backfired in later generations. As you went into the 90s and into the 2000s, people were trying to differentiate from that. They didn't want to all look the same, all dress the same. They didn't want every store to have the exact same item in it. So that kind of started the death of the shopping mall, so to speak. Sound is pretty creepy. That creaking. There's a culture around these kind of dead malls that they have just as much life or excitement to them even after they've been abandoned. It's fascinating.
So Atlas, quick question.
Yep.
Zombie apocalypse breaks out. You're in a mall. What's the first store you run to?
Well, here apparently it's either the movie theater or guest services. The guest service has all of the cameras, so at least you can see the zombies coming. You gotta be thinking about it. When them zombies sneak up on you. And a lot of people will say that online shopping is what killed the shopping malls. Amazon destroyed it. But really, it was the culture of it. What the malls in the 80s represented was not taken in the same way with people as they got into the 90s and in the 2000s. And since the popularity of malls really spiked in the 80s and started its downward trends in the 90s, there have been over a third of all shopping malls, indoor shopping malls, closed down. Over 500 properties that were once shopping malls are now just these abandoned buildings in America. It's almost as if there were so many malls that were built that they were built so quickly that there were just too many malls, and they spread themselves too thin. So this ultimately led to the smaller malls kind of just being devoured by the larger ones, or just not getting any sort of not any audience, any sort of attraction. So is it a terrible idea to take an elevator in an abandoned mall that's half demolished? Let's find out.
That didn't sound good.
I mean, It can only fall 2 floors, right?
That we know of.
Ah, yes, the infamous sub-levels full of zombies and experiments. Yes. Alright.
Please open.
I wonder where it just took us. I got a little nervous for a minute. Oh, hi. All right, so we found a security guard here, and we were asking him to show us around the bottom level, and he said he couldn't, but he told us about another mall up at Collin Creek that has kind of the same situation, so we're gonna go check that out. Unfortunately, when we got to Collin Creek, it was all sealed off. They had this blue tarpaulin around the entire thing, and everyone was very adamant about us not going in. There were a lot of no trespassing signs and everything, so we just filmed a little bit from the outside, but we couldn't really get in to check it out. So we decided, since we were in Dallas, to finish off the day with a visit to the Reunion Tower. We grabbed a drink, enjoyed the view, and finished off the video with the time lapse of the setting sun. And now we see a lot of these abandoned malls being repurposed and turned into training facilities or turned into colleges, technical schools. They get used in movies for, like, zombie films and horror movies, and they inspire video games and urban exploration. And really, we have to ask ourselves, just what is our obsession with the dead mall culture? Feet are covered in hatch green chili juice. All right, so I know I've been hearing a lot about this Area 51 thing on the internet. Let's see if we can get ourselves a little sneak peek. Let's see what Area 51's all about. All right, let's do this.
Bro?
Yeah.
Bro?
What?
I don't think it's the right place, man.
What?
I don't think it's the right place.
District. You know what? We took the wrong turn to Albuquerque when that dude was telling us about getting the